This is Spider-Fan 101. As you can see, my lighting is better. That's because I have this light up here turned on. So, yeah. I'm here today to review Cloak and Dagger. Now, just to recap on the first two episodes, I'm not going to go over them all here because this video is going to be long enough. But I really like the first two episodes. And or should I say the first three episodes, because the premiere had 2 episodes combined. But yeah, I really like the 2 episodes that came before this, or 3 episodes. Sorry, but yeah, it's just proving to me that this is becoming it's slowly becoming my favorite MCU show. And I really mean that, because what I really like about what Marvel has been doing, that they've been making their TV shows really diverse. I've noticed this with The Runaways. That show's great, by the way. I noticed it with this. Noticed it with Jessica Jones. Even with their movies, Spider-Man. That's extremely diverse. It's a high school movie. And I love me some high school movies. I just watched Paper Towns last night. I'll go over that later, but that movie's awesome. So, yeah. But going back to this, I really like the last 2 episodes, and I like how they are taking their time with this show and developing the characters firsthand before getting to all the superhero stuff. So, yeah. So going to this episode, it basically opens up where the last episode left off, where Tyrone goes into the warehouse where Tandy's at, and he says, "Hey, we need to talk." And so they're talking, like throughout the episode, they're basically talking and developing their characters. They're also talking about what they saw in their visions, about how Tandy saw Tyrone's hopes, and Tyrone saw Tandy's fears. And I think that's really interesting how those two have the opposite powers. I find that really interesting and very cool. And then while they're talking throughout the episode, and basically getting to know each other, which is my favorite part of the episode, is when they cut to them talking to each other. You have them doing things in between. Like, for example, Tandy's dealing with her mother and the guy that she's dating, and this guy works for Roxxon, which, if you don't know, is like an underlying thing in the MCU that's ultimately been building up to this. So now, since Tandy's father was in cahoots with Roxxon, she decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to investigate Roxxon. I'm going to see why that whole thing exploded that day. And so she has the help of the guy that her mother's dating. I forgot his name. But she gets his help on basically researching Roxxon and what they do. So that's an ongoing theme throughout the episode. And also, on Tyrone's side, he's still trying to find out who this cop is that killed his brother that day, or that same day. And he's trying to find this cop. He had 2 interactions with him. One time he saw him, he went after him, but kind of ran away from him because he was trying to kill him. Then the second interaction, Tyrone had a gun. He's about to shoot him, but then because of, the black curtain, it transported him to where Tandy was at. Driving away in the 3rd episode. And then he goes to his police station. He's trying to find him. He's trying to do all these types of things so that he's justified in terms of being at the police station, so he has an excuse to be there. So he hooks his bike up to this up to this like gate thing with the lock, and he takes these pliers, he cuts them so it looks like somebody stole his bike, and he throws his bike over a ledge like somebody stole it and threw it over. And so he goes to the police station and reports this, and he's like, okay, hold on a second. Like, okay, hey, you wanna take this kid? Somebody stole his bike. But yeah, I also really like that because when Tandy and Tyrone are arguing at the end, like, it brings up a good point, and you know, it really makes it stand out, the whole argument of, you know, black boy in the South and police and all that. So yeah, I think that was an interesting touch to it. What else happened that's worth mentioning? So, back to Tandy's side of things. She's actually starting to like him, because before, in the previous 3 episodes, she didn't like him very much. Not at all. Because she's attached to her father. She wants to know what happened. So, in this episode, she starts to get more attached to him. And basically, we find out that Tandy's mom, she broke up with him because she was basically scared, and she thought that he was like all the other guys that she's dated. And Tandy wasn't happy about this, so she storms off. And then while all this is happening, they're still talking about their powers and their relationships and everything. And this is generally my favorite part of this episode, because in those scenes we really get to know more about these characters. We get to have that full development, which I think is pretty awesome. So Tyrone comes home. His dad's like, hey, you're late, huh? Did you do what you had to do? Because early in the episode he left, like, he had his headphones on. He left with kind of a tude, and his mom was asking, hey, where you going? Come have breakfast. He was like, no, I'm not gonna have breakfast, I'm leaving. And I was like, when I was watching, I was like, let a black boy in the real world talk to their mother like that. Not only are you going to get spanked, but you're going to get spanked with a wooden belt. Not just a leather belt, but a wooden belt. Like, she'll actually take the time to carve out a flexible wooden belt just to beat you with it. Anyway, that's why. And he's like, yeah, I did what I get to do. And then he noticed that his pliers were missing, which of course Tyrone used. Of course, is what Tyrone used to make the crime scene. And so he's like, my pliers are missing. Do you happen to know anything about this? He's like, nope. Then his father starts to reach for the book bag, and Tyrone is panicking, so he tries to get it away from him. Then, of course, his father gets it, opens it up, sees the pliers, and he starts to think that he's going into crime. And, of course, that's not the case, but, you know, he's worried that he'll end up like his brother did. And so, he takes him to this mysterious place, and this mysterious place ends up being this guy's house. And basically, it's like a friend of his, and it's like this place where he like sew things and knit, and it was very very interesting, to say the least. And my second favorite part of the episode, Tyrone walks into this closet with all these clothes and stuff. He looks up, he's like, what is this? Grabs it, camera pans over, and it's the cloak. The cloak, baby! Yeah. So yeah, he finds the cloak, he brings it out. Tyrone's dad gets mad at him because he's like, why did you pick this? Put it back! He's like, I don't know, it just spoke to me. And then it gets revealed that it was actually it actually belonged to Tyrone's brother. So he's like, well, let me finish it for him. So they finish it up. Then once they get back from there, their relationship is pretty much a lot better, because during that time they got to really spend time with each other and build that chemistry between father and son. And yeah, we cut back to Tyrone and Tandy talking. Then their conversation starts to get heated, because Tandy brings up the fact that she's thought numerous times that she wanted to kill herself because she was going through all these trials and tribulations. And Tyrone, since he's a Christian, is like what? Why would you want to kill yourself? You have your whole life to live. And then it starts to go on this whole thing about how she doesn't have a home and parents that love her and everything, but he does. And then he goes off about how he's like, you want to talk about privilege? Privilege? Nobody, you have more privilege than I do, because white have more privilege. And then she brings up the fact that she went to the police and she couldn't do anything about the guy that almost her in the first episode. And the conversation just gets really heated, and honestly I didn't expect it to go that way. But yeah, the episode ends with Tandy basically jumping, like putting this lock on her foot, and she jumps down into a river, and she gets saved, I guess. And we see that the dagger is in her hand. And so she goes over to the place where, not to mention earlier in the episode, the guy that she got attached to, the guy that worked for Roxxon, he was, Tandy was going up there to the place where they were researching this stuff, and he was there trying to organize everything, I guess. And then, all of a sudden, this lady comes in, shoots him in the head, looking like an MCU Netflix show, and then she puts a bunch of gasoline on all the files and papers and stuff and burns it all, and then walks away. So that's pretty much gone. So the next day she goes there, Tandy goes there, tries to get whatever information she could find, and then not yet, but Tyrone, he's pretty much his relationship with his dad is better and stuff. And the episode pretty much ends with that. So yeah, I am really liking this show. I really am. It has great character building, great character moments, great choice in music. I mean, jeez. Great casting all around. I knew that this show, even from the first trailer reaction that I did, was gonna have great acting. It has great, it's just great all around. It really is. And I give this episode a 9 out of 10. It was brilliance.
Gonna get what I came for. Gonna get what I came for. I'm gonna get what I came for.